Hi everyone, I am Jessica, a representative of channel namely Life Lesson Stories. And today we have a very special guest with us namely Steve. Today we will hear something very special from our honorable guest about love and happiness. Hi Steve, how are you? Please tell us something about love and happiness.
Hi Jessica, thanks for inviting me and giving opportunity to discuss about love and happiness. I will share with you the story of my family, father, mother and son.
Yes, please go ahead.
All I remember, when my father spoke to me, he always began the conversation with, "Have I told you yet today how much I adore you?" The expression of love was reciprocated and, in his later years, as his life began to visibly ebb, we grew even closer, if that were possible. At 82 he was ready to die, and I was ready to let him go so that his suffering would end. We laughed and cried and held hands, and told each other of our love, and agreed that it was time. I said, "Dad, after you've gone I want a sign from you that you're fine." He laughed at the absurdity of that. Dad didn't believe in reincarnation. I wasn't positive I did either, but I had had many experiences that convinced me I could get some signal from the other side. My father and I were so deeply connected I felt his heart attack in my chest at the moment he died. Later I mourned that the hospital, in their sterile wisdom, had not let me hold his hand as he had slipped away. Day after day I prayed to hear from him, but nothing happened. Night after night I asked for a dream before I fell asleep. And yet 4 long months passed and I heard and felt nothing but grief at his loss. Mother had died 5 years before of Alzheimer's, and, though I had grown daughters of my own, I felt like a lost child. One day, while I was lying on a massage table in a dark, quiet room waiting for my appointment, a wave of longing for my father swept over me. I began to wonder if I had been too demanding and asking for a sign from him. I noticed that my mind was in a hyperacute state.
Really interesting.
I experienced an unfamiliar clarity in which I could have added long columns of figures in my head. I checked to make sure I was awake and not dreaming, and I saw that I was as far removed from a dreamy state as one could possibly be. Each thought I had was like a drop of water disturbing a still pond, and I marveled at the peacefulness of each passing moment. Then I thought, I've been trying to control the messages from the other side. I will stop that now. Suddenly my mother's face appeared.
Oh, that's great. It's quite interesting what happened next.
Suddenly my mother's face appeared. My mother, as she had been before Alzheimer's disease, had stripped her of her mind, her humanity and 50 pounds. Her magnificent silver hair crowned her sweet face. She was so real and so close I felt I could reach out and touch her. She looked as she had a dozen years ago, before the wasting away had begun. I even smelled the fragrance of joy, her favorite perfume.
Really?
Yes, she seemed to be waiting and did not speak. I wondered how it could happen that I was thinking of my father and my mother appeared, and I felt a little guilty that I had not asked for her as well. I said, "Oh, Mother, I'm so sorry that you had to suffer with that horrible disease."
So sad.
She tipped her head slightly to one side, as though to acknowledge what I had said about her suffering. Then she smiled, a beautiful smile, and said very distinctly, "But all I remember is love." And she disappeared. I began to shiver in a room suddenly gone cold, and I knew in my bones that the love we give and receive is all that matters, and all that is remembered. Suffering disappears, love remains.
Very well said, love remains.
Very important line, love remains. Her words are the most important I have ever heard, and that moment is forever engraved on my heart. I have not yet seen or heard from my father, but I have no doubts that someday, when I least expect it, he will appear and say, "Have I told you yet today that I love you?"
It's really awesome story and I loved it. Thank you so much Steve for telling us about love, family and happiness. We should really adore our relations with our parents, siblings and kids.
Yes, and we must share our feelings with our family and friends positively. You are welcome, please.
At the end I would like to say thank you for watching this short lovable story. We will come again with new story. Till then please take care of yourself. This was all from Life Lesson Stories Mza. Bye bye.